Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option Podcast. New Sprint Ride Option Podcast. I'm Andrew Pasquini, Jason Aponte, and I'm burying the lead. The San Francisco 49ers, they're going to the playoffs, Jason Aponte.
Talk to them. Them boys are fold. I told you. They fold. They don't want no smoke. I told you. They not built like that. Not built like that. Where's that handsome son of a bitch, Jimmy Garoppolo?
Oh, my God. Jimmy Garoppolo. Wow. What a game. It's fitting. It is fitting. Ambry Thomas makes the interception to send the San Francisco 49ers to the playoffs. There's a lot happening right now. I mean, this is going to be a cluster of thoughts. Because we're going to think of it as we go. But most importantly, the San Francisco 49ers, they're going to the playoffs. And that's all we could ask right now.
And the Rams will fold when you punch them in the mouth. They take their ball and go home. I tried to tell you, they are not built like that. They ain't like that. They don't want the smoke, and they will go home. I told you. Not built like that. Soft. SAWFT. Soft.
That is a WWE reference. I don't know if you know that. It is, but yeah, man. I mean, the Rams, they're okay. They're happy because they are going to the playoffs, the NFC West. But hey, Jason, guess what? Jason Aponte?
What?
The 49ers have a chance to extend their now 6-game winning streak against the Los Angeles Rams in the wild card weekend. As the Niners, it looks like, I believe if Playoff Machine's right, everything's updated. The 49ers are going to LA for a wild card matchup against the Ram. George, there you go. Thank you for the donation. This is an embarrassment to every single Rams fan. We own y'all. We had a bum-ass quarterback, and y'all still couldn't beat us. This is embarrassing. We didn't even have our best left tackle in the game. Thank you, George, for the donation. And I guess that's where we're going to talk is Jimmy Garoppolo. I guess that's probably the topic on everybody's mind.
Hold up.
No?
Pop that shit. The Sprint Ride Option Podcast is covering a playoff team. Imagine that. We wake up today and we wake up tomorrow as a playoff team. Save this Jimmy that. No. Save it. Don't want to hear it. Don't care.
People are saying Dallas. If it's Dallas, it might be different because I'm looking at the playoff machine right now. They have everything updated. And Niners win. But if it's Dallas and I heard something different, well, this is a little Jason.
Hey. Can I say something? I don't care who we play next week. Can we just talk about this game?
Yes, we can. Jimmy Garoppolo is an enigma. For whatever reason, man, I think Jordan Elliott said it. If the Niners, if he was the quarterback he was for 90-yard drives, be real good. And hey, listen, I know the 2 interceptions were bad. Priya, thank you for the donation. Started crying. What a game. So happy for Ambry. Going to Jerry's World and bringing back the 90s rivalry. Same old sorry ass
Rams.
That's a saying I've heard. The 2 interceptions by Garoppolo, obviously heartbreaking, but then he leads the Niners on a let me get the right numbers. 5-play, 88 yards, 1 minute and 1 second touchdown scoring drive to tie the game, keep the season alive. And I mean, we get it. Not a lot of people like Garoppolo, but somehow, some way, he gets it done.
Yo. Handsome son of a bitch. You did it.
We love
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I don't want to hear about, he did this, he did that. They won the game. Save that shit. Save it. Absolutely save it. 2 things that I'm really impressed with. Kyle Shanahan. Bag in it. Wasn't his
the Debo hit.
Debo, the touchdown to Debo. Give Andrew his flowers. Jimmy has to be the most mentally tough son of a bitch I've seen in a long time. I died 25 times during that game.
Yes. Absolutely. Don Burren here, Ambry Thomas from Detroit. There's the tie-in. Michael, thank you for the donation. Beers, boys, beers. We love it. George, thank you for the donation. It's hot right now. Jason, you are correct. You said Ambry was going to get his interception, and he did that. That is good news by Josh Norman. The Niners, yeah, man. I mean, it's only fitting. Vish, thank you. We appreciate it. It's fitting that we talk about the corners all year. And on a deep shot that could have ended the season, because if that throws out in front, it ends the season. It's underneath, and Ambry Thomas makes the play. A lot of emotions right now.
Is Marketing Pro here? Y'all seen him?
We liked him though.
I did like him. I'd also like to spank that. Well, let me shut up, man.
Let's go. Let's breathe.
Let me just shut up.
Jason, we're happy.
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I mean, this team, bro. Like,
never in doubt.
I want to come on here and give analysis, but how can you after that?
Yeah, it's Juwan Jennings. I'm just gonna say names. I'm just like, honestly, I'm at a point where I say Juwan Jennings, huge game. Deebo Samuel, that offensive weapon who should be an MVP
donation,
candidate.
Man. Rich is a Niner for life.
Thank you for the donation.
Thank you guys for the great content. You think
Jimmy Race? I'm not listening. I appreciate
don't want to
the
talk about
question.
that, bro.
I'm not worried about it right now. The Niners have a playoff game. Do we play the Rams? So the playoff machine says Rams. People are telling me Dallas, so I'm assuming it's Dallas. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I just refreshed playoff machine, and it's Dallas. So the Niners are going to Dallas next week.
Funny thing is, I got a message from a Dallas fan who's a close friend of mine when the game was 17-0, and he said, man, Niners shit the bed. And I've been hitting him up, and he's nowhere to be found.
Oh, man. Elijah Mitchell had a good game. Deebo Samuelson, thank you for the donation. We love you. I'm going to say a name, Jason, just for memes. Robbie Gould. Punter,
amazing
field goal kicker, Kyle Juszczyk, holder. I guess let's Jason, let's try and pull a little structure to it. Let's start from the top, okay? 49ers, they start out 17-0. They're down. It's not feeling good. The Rams kind of walked over them. First 3 drives from the Rams, touchdowns. Jimmy throws a pretty bad interception, to say the least. And that's where the Niners defense said, no, that's enough. The Rams go punt, or interception, punt their next 4 drives. And by the time the Niners got the ball back after that punt, it was 17-17. Jordan Elliott, we have a special guest. There might be special guests jumping in here and there.
Oh, we vibing. We vibing. This is going to be a wild episode.
This is going to be a fun episode. Jordan Elliott, how you doing today? It's feeling good.
This is a monumentous occasion. It is something that should be celebrated. I know 49ers fans, their main goal is winning Super Bowls, but guess what? You have to make the playoffs to get there. And you are lying to all of our faces if you're sitting here and you tell us that you did not have doubts multiple times during this game that this 49ers season was over. The 17-0 deficit, having to go, 92 yards on that last drive. I just can't say enough about how much heart this team had today, and it was a very fun day watching football. So thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, you got it, Jordan. So I'm a little bit disappointed we got Jordan and we didn't get Rich too. Unfortunately,
it's a happy occasion. If they lost, you would have gotten a whole dose of Rich, but this is a happy occasion.
We got a few invites out. Rich might jump in too. So, we'll see.
Look, all right, let's get back on the rails here.
Yes.
My theory about that the Rams are soft is true. I don't want to hear it anymore. When things don't go well and you start putting pressure on them, they fold. That stadium, Troy Aikman and Joe Buck must have said, if you would have taken a drink every time they said, man, is this a home game or a road game? Like, what's going on? You'd be drunk. Yeah. But that's the Rams. They're not built like that. They are not solid like that. As high as they were. I saw Sean McVay running into the end zone.
Dude, how was that not a flag?
That's all right. Who cares?
He was on the field quite a bit.
Hey, you on the field? Oh, you feeling good? Again, as soon as adversity hits your doorstep, you take your ball and you go home. I had heard all about this run defense. Guess what? When it's time to get going again, Kyle Shanahan was in his bag, did his thing. I'll pass it to somebody else to talk real quick, man. But Right now, we have over 600 people in here right now.
Yes,
and we're all 49ers fans enjoying this win right now because look, no matter what you think about what's going to happen in the next week, who cares? Table that discussion. We're not here to talk about next week. We are here to talk about this game and enjoy this game because this is the first time that Sean McVay has lost leading in halftime. And this is the second biggest comeback in the NFL this year. Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't care what happened, all those things. And if people want to say, well, he puts out the fire that he started, who cares? They won. And he was clutch money. Big nuts on the table down the stretch. What are you going to say?
Jimmy Garoppolo is so fun. He is such an interesting. Jordan, what was your tweet? The 89-yard one. What was it?
I tweeted a lot today. What are you talking about?
The 90. If Jimmy Garoppolo played like a 90-yard drive.
If he played every game like it was a back against the wall 90-yard drive with 2.5 minutes left, like he would be the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. And maybe if we, focus specifically on this season, because I don't want to bring back old stuff where there was a long drive he needed to have and didn't get. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, like how many times this year? Like I remember in that Titans game, I tweeted out, I was like, the Titans just gave Jimmy a 90-plus yard field to work with, and they don't know that they just hurt themselves by doing that. And what did he do? He went down and he tied the game. They obviously ended up losing, but like this guy's done it over and over and over again, and it's absolutely infuriating to watch because if he was able to consistently hit throws, they never would have needed to move on from him and draft Trey Lance. And that's not taking anything away from Trey Lance, but like there is a huge level of inconsistency, and that's what makes it so maddening watching him because he doesn't just suck. He's not just some guy who's terrible. Yeah, he misses throws. Yeah, he had a bad pick in the red zone, but then he goes and does this, and it feels like we're living this like Dumb and Dumber scene over and over again where it's like, just when I thought you couldn't do anything worse, totally redeem yourself. Like that's literally been the way to sum up Jimmy like all season. And at the end of the day, regardless of what happens next week, I'm actually, as somebody who is very thrilled and looking forward to not having to watch him play quarterback every week going forward, I'm happy that his tenure, at least in the regular season, doesn't end on a bad interception into triple coverage, and that's not the last memory we have of him in the 49ers uniform.
Also, 49er fans win. You're welcome, America. You don't have to watch Taysom Hill. Yeah. You're welcome, America. America wins when the 49ers win. You're welcome. You are welcome because the Falcons didn't do us no favors. Thanks a lot, jerks, but we don't need you.
Just thinking ahead for a second, could you imagine the greatest rivalry in NFL history, the 49ers and Dallas Cowboys on Nickelodeon? That would be cool. I would personally enjoy that.
Is it confirmed? Is it the Nickelodeon game? Or
I don't know. I don't know if they've announced the schedule yet. But it'd be cool.
If the NFL was smart, they would make that the Monday game.
Yeah, that's too big time to be the Nickelodeon. The Nickelodeon is probably going to be Bucks, Eagles, right?
It'll probably be a 2 seed versus a 7 seed. Jawan Jennings, that's a name I wanted to talk about too. He's getting more and more love in this offense. And today, not even close. I'm not even going to try and make it sound like a decisive thing. It is his best game of his career. 6 receptions, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. And it's slowly feeling like the Niners now have 3 receivers they can rely on pretty consistently.
And Kyle Shanahan wanted Jimmy Garoppolo for this game.
9-finger Jimmy, man.
I mean, a lot of people were already, I saw it. Oh my God, it's already on Kyle. We're going to get his ass out of here. That's why I wasn't tweeting reactionary stuff. It was okay. All right. Okay. Let it play out. And whatever. Roller coaster, who gives a damn? The 49ers won. But that's why you don't jump to conclusions and you start yelling about firing the coach halfway through a game. Like, settle in, guys. Settle in.
At least hide it and not name your space that, right? George, thank you for the donation. Now we get to play the Cowboys' biggest test. Run defense. Dallas is a high-power offense. Cannot turn the ball over. Jimmy G. Listen, we say it every week. The team's as good as Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be if he's not turning the ball over. You feel good, but today he turns the ball over twice, and I guess Kyle Shanahan owns Sean McVay. Is that the sentence we're just ending this on? Like, I legally can't pick the Rams anymore.
Well, unless something crazy happens, and, again, we'll talk about what's going to happen next week and all that stuff and where we think the 49ers are going to go. I don't think the 49ers are going to play the Rams again this year. 6 straight. Get worked. Get owned. I want to see Rams fans in here. Where the Rams fans at, bro? What happened to Montana Stafford?
Could you imagine being a Rams fan today, too? Like, you're sitting there, you're up 17-0, Jimmy has 9 fingers, and your team has run almost as many plays as the Niners have offense in the first half. Like, I think there was one point where the Niners had 41 yards of offense, and the Rams had run 33 plays.
Yep.
Like, could you imagine if somebody told you 3 hours from now, you'd be sitting there, and you would now be winning the division, but you would be the 4 seed, you would be losing this game in overtime, and then even beyond that, let's say you can accept that. You allowed the tie. You're up 7 points. The Niners have no timeouts, and they have to go 92 yards to get a touchdown to tie the game. And on top of it, I'm not going to lie, the thing that terrified me the most in this game, I want to give a quick shout-out to Kyle Juszczyk, because I was so concerned. Like, I don't think people understand how much chemistry goes into holding a football. And I was sitting there just waiting, like, oh, my God, if we get one laces-in situation here where it's a bad hold or a messy hold, and it's going to come out where it's like, oh, no, Robbie Gould missed an extra point or a field goal. Like, they were completely clean with their fullback holding kicks for them. That may not seem like a big deal, but that is incredible given the circumstances that in this moment, Kyle Juszczyk comes out there and is delivering these. And again, it sounds like I'm like joking, like, oh, he's holding the ball great.
No,
it's a big deal. Like, it's hard to do.
Well, a very real thought I had when the Niners scored that touchdown was, the touchdown to go down 24-23 is I was like, okay, how much trust does Kyle actually have in Juszczyk and holding? Because this is a pretty big hold, right? Like, this is very important. And I was wondering if he was going to go for 2 just see if he feels better trying to get 2 yards. But obviously he has trust in Juszczyk holding the ball, which this isn't a joke. Like, we are telling you, like, how impressive it was for Juszczyk to be the second holder for this team and be as good as he was. And it's not a small thing. I mean, go back to Tony Romo back in Seattle, all that. Smack, thank you. I'll rather face the Cowboys. Yeah, and I mean, as well as it too, and I don't know if this argument works with the Niners and Rams. We'll never know because they might not meet in the playoffs. Facing a team 3 times in a season is hard to do, and beating a team 3 times in a season is hard to do. But Shanahan just owns Sean McVay. 806 people in right now. If you're new, if you're not, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, Jason Aponte, the best content. He is. Jordan also told me he thinks he is the next Jenna Marbles of YouTube. So make sure you guys get on that boat early and subscribe to this channel. Jason, give me some thoughts. What are you thinking about right now? About
you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about Andrew Pasquini of the Sprint Right Option podcast and Rich Madrid 2 of Niners Nation and Jason Aponte, me. You know what I'm thinking about? We cover a playoff team.
Yeah.
Look, this is going to be a very fun episode. Laid back. Nothing. I'm not going to harp on no negatives. None. How can you?
No.
What was that? What was that game? The Rams folded, as they usually do. We should have all seen this coming. I told you. Punch them in the mouth and they want to go home. Against a winning team, they're going to go home. Cooper Kupp had a very good game in this game. That throw and catch, the first one with Jimmy Ward on him, that was – and then the one in the end zone, I was like, man, like, what are you going to do? Tip your cap. But for all the people who have their reservations about Matthew Stafford, this game right there, that pick, that you literally have it on the tee right now that you can, like, use that, again, in your argument. So, I mean, just – I'm vibing, man. We vibing. Yeah. This is a lot of fun, man. This is a lot of fun. My heart rate, my watch let me know 4 times in the fourth quarter that I was inactive and my heart rate had spiked to over 120 beats per minute. And I'm chilling now. My watch is like, time to stand. And no, I'm not doing that, man. No, man, I'm not doing that, man. Eric Armstead balled out.
Oh my God.
Say something nice about Eric Armstead. Say something very nice about Eric Armstead. We already talked about Juwan Jennings. This man, Brandon Ayuk, baller. Deebo Samuel's the MVP right now, like, of this team. We know that. We know that. And Andrew finally got his conspiracy theory confirmed. Go for it.
Can we talk about that drive, though? How goddamn mad Kyle Shanahan is. This drive, this is the Niners drive. It's 17-10. This is the drive that swung this game, in my opinion. Niners start at their own 26-yard line. They go run. They go run, 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 they go run. And I think at some point in this area, they ran the same run 3 plays in a row. They went right, left, right with it. They ran for a 10th time in a row. And then Deebo Samuel is lined up in shotgun on a 1st and 10, handoff to Deebo Samuel, who goes right. And he throws the ball to Juwan Jennings for the touchdown. And Juwan Jennings almost drops it. I don't care. He caught it. That's all that matters. What a time to pull out the Deebo Samuel pass. Off of a drive where you go 10 consecutive runs, and then you set up a run play for a touchdown pass. They want people were in his space wanting to fire Kyle Shanahan at halftime, and he comes out, and that drive was straight football porn. And that's what it was. And that's where the game changed. Niners tied 17-17. Ambry Thomas interception to win it. D'Amico Ryans is very good at calling blitzes at the perfect time. I'm all over the place. Jordan, what do you have any Niner thoughts you want to share? Anything we haven't touched on, or just anything you want to talk about?
Just, and it's frustrating because somehow, some way, I wouldn't fault people for sitting there and being like, yes, like happy they made the playoffs, which should be the, primary focus. But we see these flashes where it's like, damn, like this team shouldn't have been clawing in the last game of the season. Like they're so talented if they can put it all together. But at the end of the day, I will remember this team, no matter how the season ends, for how they responded in so many situations, again, with their backs against the wall. Like that drive with 43 seconds, I think they got the ball back, 38 seconds or something like that, right before halftime. I felt like that was huge. I'm like, hey, if they can get points there, you go into halftime, you're getting the ball back. You can script a drive, which, as you guys know, when Kyle can script a series of plays, it's going to be much better than them just calling plays on the fly. And the momentum that you get, like momentum is something, it's so funny to me. I was listening to a podcast the other day. It was like some guy from PFF or something was talking about how you can't quantify momentum. Like momentum is a very real thing. I don't care if you can't put it in your spreadsheet or on your computer program or whatever. Like momentum is very real. And just getting 3 there, and then all of a sudden you get 7. And the Rams are like, okay, we still got a comfortable lead. 2 quick possessions. The 49ers are right back in this game where it's tied. And then I think the Rams start having this like, oh my God, here we go again. The 49ers always beat us. We're up 17-0, and their quarterback has a torn ligament in his thumb, and now we're tied with these guys. And it felt like over the course of those like couple possessions, you could see the Rams. Like the Rams did a really good job stuffing the Niners up front, getting in the trenches, slowing down the run game. But you could see that slowly start to wear down. And I feel like that just psychologically has to be so frustrating that no matter what they do, the 49ers seem to have their number. So I think that the resilience the 49ers showed in big spots is huge. And obviously we're going to talk about Jimmy's drive a bunch. We're going to talk about, the defense making stops and stuff and Thomas's interception in overtime. But that last drive with 30 some odd seconds left or whatever it was, there were some big throws by Jimmy. There was some big yak by Brandon Ayuk. Like that really put them in position, because if they don't get any points there, I don't think they come back and win this game. Even though it was just 3 in the grand scheme of things, like that was really what defined it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's another thing that we haven't talked about, that last drive. That's a huge drive, because if you're down 17 at the half, you're down 3 scores, and that changes how Shanahan's probably calling the second half. Down 2 scores with a whole 30 minutes left in game time, you can run your offense. And that's what Kyle Shanahan did. And I mean, that's a huge 10-point swing, because if you go in after the field goal, the Niners have a 7-play, 75-yard drive. They score the touchdown. You mentioned it already. And I mean, that was another Deebo Samuel touchdown run, which I think he finished with 8, and he finished with the most rushing touchdowns on the 49ers this year. I believe that ends up, I think it's 8-5. I think it was like him and Mitchell. So yeah, I mean, Jordan, great call. That drive right before half. It's
changed the game.
It's huge. It changes the game.
And thank you, the anchor, for this donation. First ever donation, but all season you've been amazing. I've got not much cash but as a UK fan, thank you all. I wanted to keep this up because this jacket that I have right here, I actually got from the National Vintage League, which is based in London. And they actually put it on their website. I ordered it from them. They sent it across the country. So that's why, there's a lot of gold jackets, but this one has this, snazzy helmet on it that says 49ers on it. So I had to get it when I got it from there. So it's funny that you bring that up because I am wearing this and I actually got it from London. Mav, thank you for the donation, buddy. DeMeco Ryans is a head coach in the future. He made excellent adjustments and made Stafford uncomfortable. He's the reason we will have a deep playoff run. Hell of a drive and good for Ambry. Yes, man. DeMeco Ryans. Talk to him. Weston. What's up, bro? Thank you for the donation,
Weston.
man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for the donation, man. And cheers, buddy. Cheers, man. What a win. What a win, man.
That was a fun game.
Do people understand that the 49ers got so thin in the secondary that they had to put Dante Johnson at safety in this game too? Like they were literally down to so little left.
Sark got hurt.
And Hufanga was out too, I believe. I could be wrong, but they had Dante Johnson. Unless Hufanga was benched, I don't know. I'm not trying to be off if I am, but
I'll look at the inactives. Yeah.
There were multiple plays where they came out in a too high shell pre-snap, and Dante Johnson was lined up at safety next to Jimmy Ward. So. Again, if we go back to how impressive DeMeco Ryans has been, and I'm pretty sure I have to look around the rest of the league and catch up on how everything else went. I'm pretty sure the 49ers solidified themselves as a top 5 defense because the Rams finished with under 300 yards in the game, which is insane when you think about how hot they started this game with that 17-0 lead.
And that's the other thing is DeMeco, again, adjustments in game, picking your spots to blitz. It's incredible. I mean, I don't think I need to keep saying it, but he's much further along than Robert Saleh was in his first year. And we all love Robert Saleh over here on this side. And unfortunately, he's doing so well that you're probably going to get one more year where everybody starts to come calling for him as a head coach. But there was a lot of talk about, well, DeMeco's not – stop. We stop, please.
You mentioned the secondary situation, Jordan, a name we haven't said yet. Who, we saw him once, Colton McKivitz. He had that. He got blown by on a sack late in the game, but that was really the only time you noticed him, and that's usually what you want. Matt Mayoko just tweeted actually, Colton McKivitz had a great last month of practice. Kyle Shanahan said it was not an easy decision to start him. Shanahan said. The plan was to rotate McKivitz and Jalen Moore, but they ended up sticking with McKivitz in place of left tackle Trent Williams. So I wanted to mention Colton McKivitz because that's another big unsung hero in this game. As I said, I know he gave up a pretty big sack, but I mean the Niners played the game with both backup tackles, Tom Compton and Colton McKivitz, and Garoppolo got sacked 3 times, which maybe a little high, but it's okay. So I have really no point where I want to go with this. It's just I feel like there's a lot of names that I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget because
they gave significant snaps to Darquez Dennard, who I loved coming out of Michigan State a while ago. People might remember him. He was a Thorpe winner, which is the best DB in the country. I think it was a first-round pick of the Bengals, but he literally, if I'm not mistaken, it was either this week or last week, had just been signed to the 49ers practice squad, and they put him out there in the second half of this game in a 1-score or tie game and had they literally just threw out whoever they could, and they managed to hold an explosive offense to 7 points in the second half, and then 0 in overtime, obviously. So DeMeco Ryans is incredible, and I think that it's like Jason and I were there in training camp, and we saw the stuff he was doing, and we knew that this was going to be different than the last few seasons, like what he was willing to do, some of these blitz packages. And the greatest thing about all of this is we haven't even come close to seeing the entire picture because he has had to scrap so much of what he was going to do due to the corner injuries they had. I guarantee you if Mosley and Verrett are healthy for the majority of the season, you would have been even more impressed about DeMeco Ryans, which is incredible when you consider the first-year defensive coordinator had a top-5 defense in the NFL. Like, it's absolutely insane what he's done this year.
And we talked about it all offseason. The 49ers could completely regress and be a top 10 defense. But now I don't really feel like they necessarily regress because when you consider the secondary, when you consider the injuries, and when you consider it took a little while for Arden Key to get rolling, I don't even know if they necessarily regressed. I feel much better about this defense going forward. And if Eric Armstead can play like that week after week, I mean, pass rushes are what disrupt games and propel teams and get them hot, right? Like Tom Brady's lost Super Bowls because the pass rush is all in his face. I'm not trying to get crazy or anything like that, but I'm just saying if this pass rush heats up, then you know what it is. Like, we're not talking about down the week, though. We're going to keep talking about this game because we're still here, like with this. Who's Aaron Donald? I don't know who he is either. I didn't see him. Did he play today?
Hey, I'll talk about another defensive tackle when I tweeted it. It means nothing. It's just kind of fun. Eric Armstead's in the playoffs and DeForest Buckner isn't. I don't know. Just it's fun. I just wanted to say it.
Is this D-line wins? Is that
yeah, D-line? I'm a big D-line win guy.
Wait. So let's see. Eric Armstead this season, 1 playoff berth, DeForest Buckner 0? Damn. That's how we doing it?
Yeah, it did. I mean, just throwing it out there, facts. Also, another kind of small thing is the Niners' first-round pick is going to be in the 20s. That's guaranteed today. So, I would say after one, obviously we got to see a lot of the players who are in it, but this one doesn't hurt that much. It could have been my Niners started 2-4, right? And now they're a playoff team. Thank you for the donation, Dakota Mule. I don't know what that a reference to. What's the reference?
I guess he can explain it, but he's at the game, right? Like
he's at the game.
Yeah, you know what I don't. You know what I'm afraid of? Croc's out there right now with his brother and everything as well, and I know him and Donald, and they are on one right now. I know that. Shout out to all those 49er fans. If you're out there, go crazy, man. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. But have fun, man. I am jealous. I am legit jealous because I wanted to make this game happen, but unfortunately, money was tight and, being here. And you know what? I found out that I wind up making more money by sitting here talking with you guys than I do spending it going out there as well, too.
Oh,
here we go.
Here we got the Niners stuff on.
Here we go.
Madrid, the San Francisco 49ers are going to the playoffs. Say something nice about Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right now.
I thought he played well. He had his, he had moments like he always does, and he had good moments at the end. For whatever reason, he turns into Aaron Rodgers at the end of games sometimes. But he had, he was throwing some zip on that ball today, so it was good.
Oh my God, man. I can't imagine. If you guys are watching him on his IG stories, whatever, he's probably about to FaceTime me on some wild shit later on, man. I can't imagine what Croc's out there with his brother and this game and everything, man. I know he is out there lit right now. I know it for a fact, man.
49ers undefeated at SoFi, 3-0 too. Just have to throw that out there.
Sorry,
just had to throw it out there. Look, wait, so
that could be a stat we mentioned in February.
Right, they won. Oh, now you're talking. What? No.
What?
Preseason game. Last year, Nick Mullins and 3-0. Whose house?
Nick Mullins.
How's
that guy doing? Oh man, no, I don't know how to sidetrack you. But yeah, that guy's down horrendously.
That's the Giants YouTuber, bro. He the best clip that he gave so far this year was when the Eagles traded up in front of the Giants. And he's like, they're always messing with us. He's like, why don't they just leave us alone? Because they talked about this Smith so bad. Oh my God, man. Hey, look, not the flex, but I'm a flex because I feel good right now. But if the 49ers make the Super Bowl, NFL Communications will send those credentials over. We could just slide up in there real quick.
We'll see. Let's focus on Dallas. Let's get to Dallas before we talk about SoFi.
No. Let's focus on the Rams.
Let's focus on the Rams too.
Rich, Stat Padford. Are we putting him out there? Is this what it is? Like, again, he had a chance in a big game to do something. What happened?
You're muted.
Yeah, you are muted.
Well, he won the division, so who knows? But it wasn't. He's been throwing bad passes like that for the last few weeks. I'm wondering if he's hurt or what. But I would have taken that shot there too. He just underthrew it. I don't know.
He's definitely hurt now.
The ankle. But I'm wondering if something has been up with his shoulder, his throwing arm, because he's had a lot of these passes die on him in the air like that over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and he's been reported to be hurt for at least half the season. So who knows?
Conspiracy theory, Rich. Sean McVay found out that the Rams won the division during the 2-minute warning and just said, F it. Let's throw it up. If we win, we win. We lose, whatever. Yes, no?
Could be. I'm sure they have somebody buzzing him in on the headset and telling him you guys won.
I don't
take a shot
think
here. But I don't think so because they could have still had the 2 seed if they would have completed
and now
that.
they slide, right? Because the Bucks.
Yeah, they're down to.
Yeah.
I thought they were playing for the 3, and then they slid down to 4.
Weston brings up a good point. Robbie Gould, best punter in the league. If this isn't the biggest damning evidence against Mitch Wishnowsky and that pick, is that
but it's not. That doesn't do anything for your Robbie Gould narrative.
Yeah,
no, but here's the thing: is all right. Now you're making your money. Now cut the other guy now, and now just run with Robbie and let him do both. Like, what are we even doing here at this point? You could save a ton of money, and again, it lends to the fact that you should have never drafted a 4th-round punter if the aging kicker can punt better than you.
Can we talk about that though, real quick? Like, why NFL teams don't have one guy do both? Like, how much time?
What the hell else do they do?
Yeah, why can't you? Yeah, like
why can't you? Jesus, I mean, they were like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were like, I'm surprised it's not Kyle Juszczyk, and I bet you he would have boomed it past 29 yards.
Because they need 2 people to kick, apparently.
It's all the same motion, right? It's all the same motion. I mean, if we want to talk about kicking, soccer. No, I'm joking. Just want to see Jason's reaction.
Absolutely not. I'll kick your ass out.
Can we own Rich, too, who wanted to scrap the Debo touchdown call? When they ran that against Atlanta, he was like, throw it away. Don't get this dumb stuff out of here, man. I don't want to see it, man. I don't want to see it, man.
I don't want to see it again, man.
Hey, they got lucky. And he still got knocked out, man. He was a half second away from not completing it because he would have taken a tackle for a loss.
He threw a rope on the run and I don't know if we can completely say this, but Jalen Ramsey was the nearest defender, so we can say that Deebo Samuel has his number as a quarterback.
He got cooked. He got his ass cooked.
Ramsey had that 1 yard tackle for a loss at the beginning of the game, and like everyone thought like Ramsey owned him, but you didn't even knock the guy down.
Ramsey went flailing to the ground, and Debo didn't move at all. Like it's like
no. I'm like, I'll take a 1 yard. I'll take a 1 yard loss if I can knock that guy on his ass.
Man,
who cares?
All right, look. Again, the Rams had a run defense that was playing well. That's fine. But again, look at the opponents. Look at the quarterbacks. And the 49ers still were able to impose their will. Again, I hate to keep harping on it. These boys are not tough. They're just not tough. And Brian Peacock said it on the Locked On 49ers podcast that I joined. Stars and scrubs. That's their defense. Realistically. Like, you didn't even have to go at Jalen Ramsey. Like, every time that it was the other side, they just went to the other side. And they have top-heavy guys on defense.
This was something I noticed the first time they played them. They're just soft. Outside of Ramsey and Donald, and you can control and you can contain those guys. You can go away from them. And the rest of their defense is soft. Completely. I think I tweeted out a clip after that first game when the entire defensive front of the Rams is on the ground on a Debo run, one of those runs in like the second quarter or whatever. They're just all on the ground. They're just soft.
And look, man, Elijah Mitchell, man, can we give this man some credit? Like, he's getting wrapped up at the line of scrimmage and pushing guys off and getting extra yards. He's been incredible, man.
Oh,
some bozo in here wants Javonte Williams.
Yeah, no, he had that one run. I think he got stopped like 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage and ended up being a 3-yard gain. So, like, it's...
Hey, how long are you guys going to be on here?
A while. Oh, we vibing. A while.
Yeah, I gotta go. We live with a big family, and they're telling me it's dinner time, so I'm gonna head up and eat.
Enjoy your dinner, Rich, and we'll be here because nobody gives a damn about the Vegas Raiders and the Chargers. I don't care, man.
Wait. If they both nail the clock,
man.
I'm not watching that, man. I don't care.
Oh man. Jamal, thank you for the donation. Bye, Rich. We'll see you in a bit. Hopefully, a rookie who could hardly see the field till recently clinched it for us. Maybe people will hold off now saying guys are busts after less than 5 career games. Jimmy hurt, Stafford hurt. No excuse in my opinion.
Let's go.
Can I add to that? Because Jason Aponte and I tried to tell everybody in the training camp portion of the season that Jaywan Jennings was making plays and Jalen Hurd wasn't. And everybody wanted to say, no, Jalen Hurd, he had those 2 touchdowns in the preseason. And again, he got hurt. I'm not trying to turn this into dumping on Jalen Hurd, but Jaywan Jennings has been that dude for a while. And it was very evident that he was going to turn into that dude. And I just think that there were so many things going back on, like, hey, I've been wrong about plenty of things. I'm sure Jason has too. There's so much. Azeez Al-Shaair. We spent all preseason talking about Azeez Al-Shaair. Like, maybe just saying next year when we do this training camp coverage, you guys might want to, listen a little bit more, because I got so much pushback. I don't know about Jason. I got so much pushback for saying, because Jaywan Jennings, just like Jamal said, because he couldn't play last year. The guy couldn't play through like essentially a broken ankle. So year 2, he's not going to be good. Dude, he looks so much better than the other guy.
He was creating separation. He's better at the catch point, all of those things. And everybody was just, I had plenty of people in the streams. No, I got pushback. You're going to be real mad when Jalen Hurd is balling out in 7 years. No, he's not, bro. What the hell's going on here, man? Like, look, it's okay to say that you got it wrong. And I'm over it, man. Terry McLaurin's on Washington, and that's fine, man. I'm happy for you. Congratulations, man. I'm on something different now. But, yeah, man, like, again, just because we aren't blue checkmark guys, just because we aren't beat writers doesn't mean that we don't know what the hell we're talking about or what we're seeing. Also, we got a better view than those guys. They're on the ground. We kind of get to see from a little bit higher up. You get to see players develop a little bit more. So, look, we're just giving opinions, but don't easily dismiss our opinions because we don't have a check mark. We don't write for a certain publication or anything like that. We still know what we're talking about. What?
George, thank you for the donation. Yeah, he makes a good point. Klay Thompson is back.
Clay Day. Yo, Bay
Basketball
Area is lit. Bay Area is lit, man. If will y'all have me if I just say that, yo, I like the Warriors now? Like, will y'all have me? Like, can I just join?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Jordan doesn't look as Jordan's like, what? No. You're muted. I said, will you have me if I
have too many tabs open, my bad. Yeah, no, you're more than welcome. I just think that with Clay, it's a situation where like Jason is like the perfect embodiment of this. Like even people who like aren't like gonna front like, oh, I've always been a Warriors fan. Like Clay is like one of the most likable athletes I think I've ever seen, and him coming back is like so big. So I'm really happy that that's just like an added bonus on today, because I'm not gonna lie, if the 49ers would have lost, like it would have sucked. It would have been really depressing writing about it tonight. But I would have at least been like, I probably would be very happy watching Clay play, so it would make me a little better. Now it's just like an added bonus. So yes, Jason, you are more than welcome. You might have to pay the price though, my friend.
What's that?
If you want on this ship, I will pay for an Alan Smolagic jersey if you wear it on stream.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If we get you a Smiley jersey and you rock that on a stream, you're one of us.
One of us.
Okay. I want to go actually watch winning basketball. I live over here and where the Knicks play. So, like
Bing
it's
bong.
cool. Bing bong's cool. Like it's cool. Like I like it, but that was after one game. That was after the first game of the season that all of that started. And look at the Knicks now. They're just a middling team at best. Jamal, if you look up Unsung Hero in the dictionary /online, you'll see a picture of Jaywan Jennings. Just saying, great show, homies. Happy to support. Appreciate you, Jamal. And for everybody that's in here, make sure you subscribe to Jamal's new channel, Jamal and Jasper Talk Niners, I believe. And you know what, Jamal? If you can, drop it in the chat. Make sure that everybody joins that. Jamal is a solid dude. He knows his football, and he's a good content creator as well, too. So, yeah, man. Man, this is fun. What the hell, man? Like, I'm like, we for as low as it was when things were crazy, right? Like after the Arizona game, after that Colts game. Yeah, 2-4, like, right? This, I don't care what the record is. The 49ers got it done. And it doesn't have to be pretty for you to get it done, man. And just, Can we talk about Jimmy Garoppolo a little bit? All right, look. The thumb didn't seem like it was hampering his throwing in any way. And I didn't like that Troy Aikman tried to point out when Jimmy was trying to throw that, like he was trying to hold the ball and bring it in on that throw to Kittle that got tipped. He was like, oh, the thumb looks like, no, he was like clearly trying to like bring it in. But no matter what you throw at this guy, he seems to just keep bouncing back. Like he threw that interception in there, and a lot of us on the timeline, not me, I just stayed away from it. But they were like, that's game, fold it up. He's not going to be able to go down the field. And a lot of people were upset about the punt. Kyle Shanahan was absolutely right to do what he did. You got 3 timeouts. They're going to run the ball 3 times. Your run defense can stop them. Get the ball back. Try again. And it worked. It worked. So I don't want to hear anything about Jimmy Garoppolo or the decision from Kyle at all. At all. If you have anything bad to say right now, you're just negative.
Yeah, I mean, 23 for 32, 316, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. But all that matters, man. I mean, you look at the last drive. Let's say here, he went 1 for 1, 2 for 2, incomplete pass, and then he went 3 for 4, I believe, on that final drive. I mean, he was nails, and it just, for whatever reason, when he comes down to it, game on the line, he turns into something else, and that's where to me, like, if you're a Garoppolo super fan, I know there's a lot of them. I'm fine with it. Nobody, people care too much about that stuff. But that's why people love Garoppolo, is because when they see him do that, he did it 5 games in a row in 2017 when the Niners were 1-10. They finished 6-10. He has a very good Super Bowl season. That's the Garoppolo people fell in love with. And unfortunately, we get a little bit of both Garoppolos a lot of games. Even today, right? We saw this game was kind of a microcosm of what the Niners season was. The defense not stopping third downs. Then the defense starts shutting it down. Garoppolo good, Garoppolo bad. Debo throwing, running, catching, and doing a little bit of everything. I mean, they might as well just throw him out there for a PAT, see if he can kick 2, because he does everything. This game was exhausting. It was fun. It was enthralling. It was everything. And at the end of it all, the Niners survived, and they're going to Dallas next week.
Look, man. A lot of the
even Matt's comment, Jimmy bumping his trade value, gutsy performance. Like, no, he's trying to get a team to the playoffs, man. Like why are we talking trades?
All right, but he wasn't bumping his trade value. But this is why I felt that he was pushing the play, because a lot of people were saying, well, he's just going to sit out and he's going to, raise his trade value that way. I think that if he would have been injured and ended the season and not played, that decreases his trade value, because you're injured for another season. Mm-hmm. So it never really made sense, that theory, in any way. And Jimmy Garoppolo is a competitor. At the end of the day, like Carson Wentz, no matter what you say, Carson Wentz is sick that he's never going to get credit for that Eagles Super Bowl, right? And he did all of those things to put them in that position. So if you're Jimmy Garoppolo, you're going to sit there and look at Trey Lance get in there those last 2 games and put this team in the playoffs when you played the entire year and he gets the credit. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo felt some type of way about that. And I don't know what else you want from the man, bro. Like, it's just, he is who he is. All the things that you say about him that are negative, those are still all true. But you still have to be able to objectively give the man credit when he plays well and he does things like this, man. Like, I'm tired of the whole, well, he set the fire and he put it out. Whatever. They won, man. They won.
You have to learn your lesson. Like, people by now should know, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, you should know with Jimmy, like, wait until the game is over before you come to. So I'll give a perfect example. On that last drive, when he threw that little, like, 5-yard check down to Juwan Jennings, like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, throw the ball away. Like, you're milking clock. Like, it's better to take an incompletion and have the clock stop than pick up 5 yards and drain 15, 20 seconds. And I started to tweet out, like, I'm so sick of seeing these mistakes and stuff like that. And I stopped. I'm like, wait until the drive is over. Literally on the very next play, he gets Deebo Samuel for 45, 50 yards or whatever it was. And I've learned that lesson over time, that you will end up looking stupid, because no matter how much logic it is, no matter how often this guy makes mistakes and he does things, like, let's be honest, the guy is getting replaced by Trey Lance for a reason. Like, it's not like it's just like, a random occurrence. But Jason's right. Like, at the end of the day, like, he did enough that he had to do to win. And just whenever, like, same thing, it might happen next week in the playoffs. I'm just telling you, some people don't care, but if you don't want to be made a fool of, wait until the game hits 0 to send your tweets off or your comments about Jimmy Garoppolo, because this dude has a knack for just like whoever's sitting here in the comments saying he didn't play great today. Like, I wouldn't argue that with you. I'm not going to focus on that personally, but at the end of the day, he did what he needed to do to put them in a position to win. And I think the majority of people here, all that they really care about is the Niners winning. So I can understand why people get frustrated hearing, like, nobody wants to sit here and listen to, oh, Jimmy missed throws that he could have hit. Because guess what? It doesn't matter. They won the game. If they would have won by 20 or they won by 3, like, the win is a win. So, like, I get what you guys are saying. And I also understand that there are reasons why people get so frustrated. Just tread lightly, because for whatever reason, this guy wants to make us all look like bozos, and he waits until the very end of games to do it. And it's happened like 5 times this year, dude.
It's the same thing with the Cincinnati game. That game was, he literally ripped victory from the jaws of defeat, and people wanted to say, well, if Jesse Bates intercept, ifs and buts if they were candy and nuts, that doesn't matter. Like, when you focus on what happened, there's plenty of guys that throw balls that are not intercepted, right? Like, I'll give you an example. Everybody wants to get mad at the Panthers for not beating the Saints last week. Taysom Hill threw like 4 or 5 passes right to Carolina defenders that all they had to do was literally intercept the ball, and that game is different. But nobody wants to focus on that. It's like, look, man, focus on the result. The process sometimes may not be it, and who cares? This team won a game. Again, Sean McVay was 42-0 with a halftime lead. This is the second biggest comeback in the NFL this year. And you want to focus on the bad things this man did when he literally went 80 yards down the field to beat the Rams? And it's mind-boggling, man. Like, you can have your reservations, you can have whatever it is that you want to say about Jimmy Garoppolo, but the result is this. And that's why we're all hyped. We're not in the playoffs right now if Jimmy Garoppolo isn't playing well in this game. What the hell?
Can I hit you with a statistic that'll blow your mind right now? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
So I know Jason likes the next gen stats too. So next gen stats release something. So they have a win probability model, right? That basically says you have a certain percentage chance of winning a game, and that factors over the course of a game. So obviously when the 49ers are down 17-0 or they're down a touchdown and they have, a minute and a half, no timeouts, all this factors in. The 49ers, since they started tracking this in 2016, had the lowest win probability in a game that resulted in a win than any other team. So that means they had a lower win probability than the Patriots when they were down 28-3 in the Super Bowl against Atlanta. They had a lower win probability than, if everybody remembers that game in Miami where they won on that weird Hail Mary pitch.
Yeah.
Where Rob Gronkowski was in for some reason playing safety and couldn't get the
got it back down the 75-yard throw.
So the 49ers had a smaller win probability than any of those games, and they still somehow found a way to win. Like, that's incredible when you think about it. They faced greater odds, according to this computer model, than a 28-3 deficit in the Super Bowl, and they found a way to win. Like, that's absolutely mind-boggling if you think about it.
There's a reason.
I'm watching the post-game videos. The 49ers won this game without Trent Williams.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Dude, that's the one guy. If the two people that I did not want to see miss this game was actually Jimmy Ward and Trent Williams. Jimmy played, but Trent Williams didn't play, and I didn't feel good. And then when you hear Colton McKivitz is the backup, you feel worse. But the 49ers won a game where the best left tackle in the world didn't play. And it didn't even rear its ugly head at any point. What the hell, man?
Can we talk about Jimmy Ward really fast? Because I don't know if you noticed in the first couple of drives, they had somehow, I don't know if it's the way the Rams were calling plays or what. I have to go back and watch all 22. But I noticed that when they were showing replays of, I think it was Higbee's touchdown, the first one he had, Jimmy Ward is absolutely clamping. I think it's a rookie out of Notre Dame, Bobby Scourneck. I don't know how to say his name. Mm-hmm. And like Jimmy Ward is absolutely like clamping him, like nowhere to go, zero separation. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, this is such a waste. Like, this guy is so good. And why is he like, no offense, he's over here covering a dude who, compared to Cooper Kupp, is an absolute scrub. Like, he's an NFL player. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but in comparison to what Cooper Kupp could do, he's an absolute scrub. But we saw even like that ball that Stafford threw when it was him and Ward one-on-one. Like, Ward really couldn't have had much better coverage than that in that situation. And sometimes you just get beat. But that's why you have Jimmy Ward in that spot, because you have to force a quarterback to be perfect. And I just think that if you, like me and Jason talked about it before, he asked the question, I think it was last night when we did it, like, who would you miss more, Trent Williams or Jimmy Ward? And we both were like Jimmy Ward, because you like Trent Williams is a phenomenal player, but Colton McKivitz like played admirably enough that they could still run the ball effectively and do those things. If you're out there already missing, like if Tart and Ward both weren't out there for this game, the Niners don't win. Like, and they obviously lost Tart towards the second half. So I just think that Jimmy Ward is another guy. Like, he's gotten his flowers this year, and people are finally giving him his respect. But he is so good. And this specific matchup against the Rams, he is just like, he's the kryptonite. Like, we always talk about how Jimmy's 6-0 against him now, which is incredible too. But it's Jimmy with an I-E, not Jimmy with a Y. That's the real kryptonite of the Rams.
Hold up. I pulled up Croc's IG story.
Oh,
this
no.
man is lit, and I'm going to play it on here. I don't care. This man is lit, and I'm so happy I'm here for it, man. I really am. I'm going to play it here. I'm going to try to turn it all the way up. Let's see.
I love him.
Yo, that was Croc in Philly, right? Like we're
Love
in
'em.
Philly, right? We're in Philly, and this man, like, we're in the stands, and he's like recording everybody in the stands. Oh, they quiet. Oh, they quiet. He was like, they real quiet. And I'm just sitting there like, Croc, we can't fight 10,000 Eagles fans. Like, this is not optimal right now at this point. But I know Croc, and I know that he's gonna be on like this, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to Donald, man. I wish I was out there with y'all guys, man. This has got to be fun, man. This has got to be fun. And yeah, I mean, we still have 600 people in here. We almost have an hour in. If you're new here, if you're not, hit that like button, help us out, subscribe. We got a lot to talk about this week because the 49ers have a playoff game next week. Wow. Jordan, Niners Nation, Jordan, you cover a playoff team. How does it feel, man?
Feels great, baby. Is that too
I
cliche?
was waiting for it. That's what I'm trying to set you up for.
But-
Go for it.
I would just point out that the 49ers have been a playoff team every year that I've covered them. So that is, could just be a coincidence. But yeah, no, like that was the goal all along. Like that was, like I said at the beginning of the year, I tweeted about it a couple times. I put out like a poll. I'm like, if the 49ers made the playoffs, would it be an objectively successful season? And I was shocked at the amount of people in week one that were like, no, they have to win the Super Bowl or else it's not a success. I guarantee you the majority of those people are feeling pretty damn good today because it's really hard to make the playoffs in the NFL. 49ers won double-digit games. They had a bunch of games come down to the wire that could have gone either way, and it took scratching and clawing back from a 17-0 deficit against a division rival on the road to make the playoffs. Like, you should be happy about this. And, hey, they might go to Dallas next week and lose. I don't want to, throw that out there, but I'm just saying that shouldn't dampen the fact that this season, in my opinion, was objectively a success. And I think the 49ers and John Lynch were breathing a sigh of relief too, because now their decision to go with Jimmy and start the veteran and not, focus on developing looks a lot better. Because if they had missed the playoffs at 9-8, well, I still wouldn't have faulted them. It would have been a much harder stance to defend with them not making, it's like, oh, well, you could have used this year to develop Trey Lance. You could have done this. You could have started all these rookies. Like, it worked out in a way that should be objectively celebrated by 49ers fans, in my opinion. And I understand there's a lot of you who've been watching this team longer than I've been alive, and you were used to Super Bowls and dynasties. But guess what? The last 25 years, they have been awful for the majority of them. So them getting back into the playoffs is a step in the right direction. Now the hope is that you can continue that momentum regardless of what happens this year. Next year, you're a playoff team. Maybe next year you're playing for the division. You get a home playoff game again. And you start building towards being a team that's regularly in the mix rather than just these flashes where they make the playoffs and then they're picking in the top 5 for 5 years after that. And then they make the playoffs and then they suck again for 5 years. Like, continuity is really key here.
So when you talk about, they made the right decision to go with Jimmy and all that stuff, it's more about they made the right decision in this game, right? In a must-win game, they turn to the guy that they trusted in big moments. Even no matter how it goes, if he always has a shot at the end of the game, you usually are in a good spot. Obviously, smart asses in the comments. It didn't go that way in the Super Bowl. That's fine. But largely, when you ask that man to do something at the end of games, and he did it against the Packers, almost did it against the Titans. They didn't finish those games as well. Yes, he didn't play well in those games, but it's so strange that this man can be, ebbs and flows. Is like the roller coaster with him is like just when you're counting this man out is when he does something like this. So it's the right decision because they won the game. If they would have lost this game, then everybody would have been upset.
He showed why Kyle Shanahan is most comfortable with him. It's why Kyle Shanahan week in and week out has gone a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo over a healthy Trey Lance. And I guess you could even say an injured Jimmy Garoppolo over Trey Lance, because if the injury is what we've been told it is, he's hurt right now. And I think we saw it a little bit here and there, but not too much. I think he was throwing the ball fine, probably why he played. But Jimmy Garoppolo's best quality is he never panics. No matter how many interceptions he throws, no matter how many times he loses the ball, he comes out and it doesn't bother him. He comes out like it never happened. And you could easily, he throws the interception, 2 drives. The Niners go interception 3 and out on a -8 yard drive. And then Jimmy Garoppolo goes 5 plays, 88 yards. And the Niners go to overtime because of what Jimmy Garoppolo did on that last drive. And he's never too high, but he's never too low. And Kyle Shanahan seems to like that. And I think you saw today why Kyle Shanahan always goes back to Jimmy Garoppolo. is he gets the job done no matter how difficult he seems to make it at times.
All right, Jamaican boy. Like, I thank you for the donation, bro. And I don't
Appreciate
want to, pick on, but Ray Charles could have hit that read to Jennings score. But that's Kyle, too, getting it open for him, man. Like, another thing, too.
What's he supposed to do? Is he supposed to force the ball into coverage to Ayuk so we can say it's a good throw?
Hey,
talk to him, Sid.
Hey, he's not wrong, though. I'm sorry. Like, he's not wrong. Like,
no, he's not. It was an easy throw.
But it's
hold up. All right, hold up. My counterpoint to that would be this. That throw to Deebo Samuel where Jalen Ramsey dove and that ball was like this close. Are you sure that had anything to do with Kyle or that did? And with a guy with a thumb like that? Like, come on, man. You're not in that position to hit that wide open throw if you don't hit that one to Deebo. And Jalen Ramsey tried his best. He laid out and the ball was this close to hitting his fingers. Come on, man. It's again, context. How you got there. You're not able to hit that wide open throw if you don't hit that pass to Deebo Samuel. And everybody in the world had the 49ers dead to rights right there, right? Like, they were just like, there's no way Jimmy Garoppolo can throw them out of this and get them down the field really quickly. Guess what? 3 plays under a minute. And this is how fast he did it. 49er fans tweeted, damn, did they leave too much time on the clock? What? What on earth? There was 23 seconds left.
Can we talk about, I don't know if you touched on it since I've been here or before I got here, how sick do you think Saints fans are right now? Like, they literally are sitting here scoreboard watching, and they're like, all right, we're manhandling the Falcons right now. We're up 3 scores. The Rams are up 17-0 at home. Jimmy's throwing picks left and right. And could you imagine being a Saints fan checking out when you go get groceries or do something? You're like, oh, I'm watching my team in the playoffs next week. And then you come back and do this.
Hey, Jordan, all I got to say is karma kicks you in the ass, Kevin James. We ain't forget Bounty Gate. We ain't forget. You get nothing, and you will like it. You know what else? And you know what else you get? For not playing Jameis earlier when you had the shot.
Yeah.
Get him, Andrew. Get his ass, Andrew.
Is there any worse punishment in this world than having a biopic about your life made and Kevin James is the person playing you? Like, is there anything worse? Like, what? Like, that was worse, hands down, than the 1-year suspension he served. Like, this man has to go through the rest of his life where non-football fans think that he is Kevin James, basically. And I love Kevin James. I love Paul Blart. He's a funny guy. King of Queens was a great show. That is the last person on earth I would want to be portrayed as. And I think that that's hilarious that Sean Payton has to go through life being basically Kevin James.
Yo, go on your Jameis Winston rant, Andrew. This is what the Saints get for never turning it right over to the man when they had the chance.
I am all in on the conspiracy theory that the reason Sean Payton didn't go Jameis Winston last year is because he knew if he went Jameis after Breeze got hurt, he would have to bench Troopers for Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston had a very good start, and who would have thought that he would have been a very important piece for the Rams or Saints had he not gotten hurt. And it's a bummer. It's a bummer for the Saints, but I'm very happy as a Niner fan that the Saints aren't going to the playoffs. Yeah. Jason's drinking out of the same bottle of champagne this whole thing. Like, yeah, that's a fact.
Andrew,
I'm gonna hit that Kinlaw dance.
Andrew, real quick, can I interrupt you for some breaking news? Klay Thompson just made his first NBA basket in 2.5 years, and I think
there you go.
I love it. Was it a three or
as a lifelong Warriors fan?
It was a floater in the lane up over Jared Allen. Like, this man is back. Like, this isn't just he's back.
As a lifelong Warriors fan, this pleases me to no end.
A diehard.
The game's on NBA TV, right? Hey, Jason.
No, don't look, you'll get to it. You're fine. You guys are on your way to a championship. We are talking about the playoff bound San Francisco 49ers.
Jason, I'm going to say this about this episode of the Sprint Right Option podcast. I'm going to say it's a little all over the place, and maybe we'll have a more collected one tomorrow. Up to you. What do you want to do? We'll see. Yeah,
nothing more I want to talk about than a team that is in the playoffs. This is the more emotional episode. Tomorrow, Jason and I will be more calm, collected. We'll have more stats and more thoughts. The Niners are going to the playoffs and they're playing the Dallas Cowboys. How sweet is it? It's amazing. And do you want to wrap this up? And I'm feeling after dark. I'm good. I don't care. Yeah, I'm feeling after dark. I might have to dip at some point here soon though, because I got to move some stuff. I'm in the process of a week-long move. Got to move some stuff tonight before the night ends. But you want to call this right here? We'll save 3 stars and all that stuff for tomorrow. A week-long move? How wealthy are you, my man? All your stuff. I mean,
Hey,
I
I'm
know,
moving.
I'll let him pick up the check next time we go to lunch. I don't know
Hey,
about
man,
baby.
you know, I'm leaving the house with the chimney, so
You're taking the chimney.
I know, right? I'm just gonna.
Oh,
I'm
you're taking the fireplace? Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna break it brick by brick, just like the Niners were built, and build it back over there.
I love it.
So yeah, Jason, we'll end the audio portion here. We'll have, as we said, a cleaner episode of the Sprint Right Option podcast tomorrow.
These instant reactions never go the way that they should.
Yeah, no, yeah, we'll be a little more analytical tomorrow. So Jason Aponte, as always,
let's go Niners, and I can't believe we're a playoff team. You're welcome, folks.
They're a playoff team. Be sure to hang out for the Sprint Right Option podcast after dark.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Right Option podcast. All right, so we are clear. Thank you for the donation Saturday night.
Now when the goofing starts? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, not now.
This is where we're a little loose. We're just talking, hanging out.
We weren't loose before?
I mean, we're very loose now. This is where I'm kind of afraid to see where Sprint Right After Dark goes after that just very loose episode. There's a million places we could start. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to start with Jimmy Garoppolo again because it's a lot of fun to see the comments as we're talking Garoppolo.
Well, here's a funny thing to talk about. Jamaican boy Debo deserves game ball. He did everything, but defense, yeah, for sure, 100%. No one's going to dispute that. You know, you want to talk about something funny?
Yes.
Who finished in last place in the NFC West?
Seattle Seahawks.
And every other team in the division made the playoffs except for them. That's
Oh, my God. Bye, Russell Wilson. Bye, Pete Carroll. Nobody cares.
Is Pete Carroll gone?
I mean, he did win his last game as a Seahawk, though, so, we'll give him that.
Good for him, but we smoking on that Seahawks pack.
I respect
we didn't
my
beat them this
QB.
year. Yeah, that's fine. Look, the 49ers lose twice to Seattle. They beat the Rams twice, and they lose twice to Arizona. I don't know what the hell to make of any of that.
Yeah,
but what I do know is
2-4 in division. Wow.
But what I do know is the Seattle Seahawks won't be in the playoffs at all. And Jimmy Garoppolo still, we'll find out in a little while, still has never been bounced in the first round. Russell Wilson has.
Yeah, you're right. Huh. I mean, he's yeah. I don't know
He's
why.
never once lost in the first round. Russell Wilson has.
I mean, Jimmy. Yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree. Jimmy Garoppolo's never lost in the first round.
And Russell Wilson lost in the first round in Dallas. So just throwing that out there too.
So did Matt Stafford.
Oh, so we slandering Stafford too now. Seems like Jimmy G does better when allowed to improv. Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a good discussion. I talk about that a lot with not the constraints, but Kyle does tell him certain times, yo, this guy up the seam. What?
Please tell, you're seeing this from JKBG, right?
Russell Wilson could now moonlight as Bruno Mars at kids' party. Oh my goodness, I love it. You know, you are largely jumping up the ranks as the best commenter on here. So, was it the last episode that we were talking about? Oh, I think you were on the Locked On podcast when you were talking about neighbors' ex-wives and being caught and all that stuff. And that was the highlight of everything. And that really spoke to me as someone who has made similar decisions and things like that. So like JKBG, man, you are like, shout out to you, man. You're the MVP, bro. Jesse, I know that we should have probably asked you this during the show, but can you update us with the analyticals that, you know?
Yeah, crunch some numbers.
What can you crunch the numbers real quick? What is the 49ers record in games that they outscored their opponents?
Yeah.
I'd like to see those numbers.
I'd like that number too. Man. What Jason, what a roller coaster season. Just at the end of it, 2-0 to 2-4, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and I mean, no other way for the season to end, right? With a playoff game, and then we'll see because, you know, hey, listen, guys, I know there's a lot of people are saying, oh, Dallas this, Dallas that, and we'll dive into the preview on Monday, right? But this could be a favorable matchup for the Niners. I think there's a lot of things the Cowboys do better than the Niners. I think there's a lot of things the Niners do better than the Cowboys. But I mean, who do you trust more in a playoff game right now? Kyle Shanahan or Mike McCarthy?
All right, now I'm about to get funny, and I want Rich too to chime in on this. There seems to be a blueprint on how to slow down the Dallas Cowboys. And you know who laid that blueprint? What the hell's Fangio running over there, man? Because he ran man match with a robber over the middle and took away those crossers and forced Dak to make throws. Jordan, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that it felt like the advantage that they had obviously is they have really good corners and a good secondary, but they also have really good safeties and the ability to drop safeties over the middle like that and Robert, the ability to have the ability to run man match and run some of these concepts. Like I think that Fangio crawled so the 49ers could walk. He set them up to have, I don't want to say the upset of the season, but I think there's a great chance that the 49ers can win this game. Because what will happen is people will be like, the Cowboys scored 50-plus points in consecutive games, or I forget if the Washington game was last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever. They scored 50 points a couple times recently. Yeah. They have Dak. They have it's like their fourth and fifth wide receivers could be starting for most teams. Like Cedric Wilson could start probably on a lot of teams. But it just feels like a game where the 49ers can kind of – like the Cowboys aren't a team that I would worry can match up with that physical, imposing – the way we saw the 49ers wear the Rams down over the course of this game. To be honest with you, the only team that I really, really worry about facing in terms of that is the Buccaneers. And that's obviously down the line if they get to that point. But the Cowboys, like that's a game I can see the 49ers coming in, managing the clock, getting into a position where as good as the Cowboys can be throwing the ball, we've also seen that they struggle against teams that are able to run the ball consistently and are able to kind of physically wear them down. And I think that the Cowboys have a bit of, I don't want to say a weakness when it comes to stopping the run, but I'd be much more worried about throwing the ball a bunch against them. And it feels like that matchup favors the 49ers a little bit in that sense. Like,
It definitely does, and it's going to be such an interesting game because, I mean, not just because of what the 49ers are, but what they've been in the past and the history of it all. I mean, you guys, I didn't even think about it. It's probably the leading candidate for the Monday night game, which would be wonderful. I think that would be such a fun game to have on Monday night. It's just. I mean, Jason said it a lot of times. It's kind of cool to be able to talk about a playoff team. It's to be able to, because like, man, as fun as the offseason stuff is, talking about actual games and what happens, it's really the best. And it's a Niner Cowboy game, and that's all we could really ask for, right? This is. I mean, Jordan, I know you're a baseball guy like me. It's the equivalent of facing the Dodgers in the NLDS, right? Like,
yeah, no, it's a big deal. Like this is big time for the NFL too. Like I know people don't really care about the NFL's rate, but the NFL is loving every bit of this. They get to sell a Cowboys-Niners playoff game because as much as it hasn't really been a relevant rivalry as of late, like that's going to draw in. Like those are two of the biggest fan bases, and that kind of they can sell it on the last time they played. It was for the NFC Championship, and they can talk about Troy Aikman and Steve Young and Montana, and they like it's a content creator's dream. And at the end of the day, people like to dump on content creators. They like to dump on people who have YouTube channels and podcasts. You know what the NFL is? The NFL is content creators too. They literally create a product that you all sit around and watch. It's not the same exact thing as watching somebody on YouTube, but the NFL feeds off of content too. They need ammunition. If they had boring teams playing, people wouldn't watch. So I'm just saying, the next time you see somebody disrespecting content creator, just remember you're feeding into content creation every time you watch professional sports. So,
and for anybody who asks, man, you guys are digging for stories on the 49ers. The 49ers are clickbait. It has been nonstop since January, dude. We woke up on Christmas Eve and there was a light tweet that we could just run with, and it had to be a statement from the general manager. Stop it, man. This is a beautiful time to be a content creator. I'm so happy. I love that I am covering a playoff team. But stop making it seem like we're fishing for storylines. It's all there in front of you.
It's all there.
And it's like, listen, we were going to do a year in review. Well, we got to put that off now. You know why? Because the next twist is the 49ers in the playoffs. That's your next twist. And Game of Thrones pales in comparison of the drama.
Yeah, and I'm going to head out after this point because, as I said, I got to move some stuff, and Jason will be back Monday. This is why sports...
No, I'm gonna die tonight. Like, this is it. We're done. Like, I'm not coming back tomorrow. Like, I'm happy. I'm so happy, bro.
We're not sure if we're going to be alive next Sunday.
Exactly.
To me, this is why sports, no matter what, is the best drama. And the 49ers are a microcosm of it. Stephen Curry's good. Is the Niners are a microcosm of that. Is look at all these non-created, because like every TV show in the world is written, obviously, and you write those twists in. This is real life, and what this is the Niners go into a season with 2 quarterbacks, and everybody wants to talk about the one they just drafted, the one they moved up with 2 first-round picks to get. And this conversation all season is, well, Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the guy. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the guy. And then we're talking about the secondary and all this. And all these stories get naturally created throughout the season. And we don't even know when the season finale is going to be. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to see the Cowboy game. Jason, it's been a fun season, and I'm very happy we get to continue it. I'm going to head out now. I hope you guys have fun. I hope Rich comes back. I hope his dinner is good, though. And just have a good night, and be
Andrew,
safe, Niner fans, and have fun. And this is fun. This is fun.
Andrew, it has been a pleasure to serve by your side for this regular season. But now we get to talk about the playoff-bound 49ers. I couldn't have picked a better person to go through this journey with.
It's been a blast. It's been fun, Jason, and to see the growth of you has been very exciting and very fun. And let's continue it. And as Jordan said earlier, this season's a success. You can't tell me otherwise.
And I like your hat.
I like your hat too. Jordan obviously didn't get the memo, so I'm gonna head out. There you go. That works too. That's okay. I'll allow it. So I'll see you tomorrow, Jason.
How
Jordan.
about you wear a hat from a real sport, bub?
Oh wow, get owned, pal.
94 Rangers against the 99 Devils. Now I'm gonna head out.
I don't care. 2013 Sharks washed both of them. Don't
99 Devils washed. The 99 Devils watched that 94 Rangers team. Man, they had to like win like mad games on the road. Like they were like on the brink of losing, man. And they lost to a team in Canada. Who gives a shit?
All right, I'll leave it on that. I'll talk to you guys later, Jason. I'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll have a good episode, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I love you, man. Love you, Jordan.
Love you, buddy. All right, Jordan. What a
Jason.
year, man. You know what I want to talk
It's
about?
been fun.
Yeah, you know what I want to talk about? This year, a little bit. We were both credentialed for Mobile, virtual, right? Like we all had the access to the same film. We were lucky enough to cover training camp. We covered the joint practices. We went to the game. We've went to multiple games this season. And then the season's over and it culminates in this way. So I'm in a bit of a reflective space right now. Like, and I want to, like, I don't know if I could have picked a better team to love and want because, right, like they just give you whatever. But I want to reflect on everything that we've accomplished so far. Right, Jordan? Is that okay? Like right now, because we've already talked about this
man.
game.
Let's get sappy and emotional. I'm with it.
Yeah, no, not sappy and emotional, but for two guys, we just sat up and we were just like, bro, we're just gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're just gonna go ahead and do it. We don't need nobody's help, right? Nobody helped us do any of this stuff. We just had the drive to go and do it. I think that's what I'm reflective of right now, right? Like. Nobody got us. Go ahead.
I was just saying, let me tell you, my friend, for anybody watching, there is so much of this that goes on that you guys don't see. Like, yeah, you'll see us goofing around and joking on here on Twitter and stuff. I'm sitting here in my apartment with my, my desk set up, my laptop, my computer, and I can't tell you guys how many dozens and dozens of hours I spent late at night by myself when I would rather be sleeping or eating or playing video games or doing anything else but watch film and grind tape and look over numbers and stuff. And I love doing it. Don't get me wrong, but like there's so much that we put into to get to be able to talk about this stuff. And like, obviously Jason and I aren't on like exact same paths, but we also have kind of come up through doing this together. And while it's not, the most glamorous thing in the world, like it feels pretty damn good to get cut a check to talk about the football team you've loved your entire life. Like it's pretty cool. And I can't speak for him, but I know he feels the same way. It wouldn't be possible if people didn't support us and didn't watch and didn't donate and didn't like and subscribe and read articles and all that stuff. So you guys really are the people that keep this going, because we're going to sit around and talk about it anyway. I talk to this man pretty much every day. You know, we have group chats and stuff like that. We're going to talk regardless, but we wouldn't be able to do it like this if it wasn't for you guys. And I just hope you know that this is something that both of us have worked like so hard to get. And we're not done. We're just getting started, but it's incredible, like Jason's saying, to look back on where we were and where we're at now and where we'll be in a month. We'll be in Mobile in a month, shoulder to shoulder with GMs and scouts covering the Senior Bowl. Like, that's pretty cool. So I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. I'm sure Jason feels the same way. So thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm at, right? Like, just reflecting. This has been a hell of a year, January to January. And just thinking about how much it was just our drive. We didn't have anybody backing us, putting us in any spot, right? We didn't get credentialed for Mobile because someone put us there. They recognized what we were doing and they took it and they ran with it. And we're back again. Because you do it 1 year, you're there, that's it. You're automatically back. And training camp was a blast. And again, it didn't happen the way that we thought it would, but nothing stops that. And nothing stops the coverage, nothing stops the movement. So if this is anything, it's more motivation to people, anybody who's watching this. You don't need anybody. And if you can do it, and it's within your grasp to do it, because a lot of people obviously have families. I do, but it's still in your grasp. And I'm right now in a reflective mood talking about all the things that we've accomplished, because I never would have dreamed of any of this stuff. And that's it. Like, realistically, that's twice. You should take a drink after that. To see the come up, I've seen you come up, right? And everybody talks about like my growth. I'm just happy to see you grow. I'm happy to see others, the connections we've made, the people that we talk to all the time, right? The people that follow us now, like beat writers, players, the things that we've been able to accomplish. Like I get to a point where it's just like, man, I could have never imagined any of this. I really couldn't have. And it's just been a crazy year, and it's been a fun year, man. And we get to keep talking about this team longer before we go to Mobile. And hopefully while we're in Mobile, because the week that we're there is the week leading up to a game in SoFi. Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but I'm just proud, man. I'm proud of you, proud of us, and everything we're able to accomplish.
Can I say I'm proud of the 49ers too? Because as much as they don't care if I or any of us feel like they're going to play the way they play regardless, right? But they did not lie down. They could have easily, they could have tricked off this game. They could have tricked off the Cincinnati game, even that Titans game they lost. Like they've like fought till the bitter end in a lot of these games, and I think that it's something that really for me will define this team. Like, yeah, do I think they're going to go on a crazy run and win the Super Bowl if I'm betting money on it? Like, no, there's a lot of really good teams. It's really hard to do, even with a good team. But no matter how the season ends, I will remember the 49ers for the ups and the downs they gave us. Like, Jason and I were in the stands when they lost to Green Bay on a lot. We saw one of the greatest throwers of the football ever hit an insane throw to Devontae Adams that everybody's like, oh, it was prevent defense. It was D'Amico Wright. Like, no, they literally broke off of the route they were running because these two are just two of the best players in the entire league, and they made an all-time throw. I remember sitting in a monsoon and watching them play the Colts and sitting there wet from my head to my toes. I was wearing, I literally was dressed like I was going to go snowboarding, and I still got soaked somehow. I've lived in the Bay Area my entire life. I don't remember rain ever like that. Like, remember that? But I also remember all the highs. Like, this year, it wouldn't be fun if they just won every game. Well, that's not true. It would be pretty fun if they won every game. But
that would have been amazing.
If they were a team that, like, pretty much just won, they tricked off a couple, it wouldn't be the same. Like, the highs and lows is really what brings us together. And I think that that's one thing that really defines this team for me, is that they have answered the call more often than not when they were put in a position of your season's on the line. You got to make a play here. You got to do something. Even thinking back to last week, like they're down 7-0 to the Texans. Trey Lance is, having some growing pains coming in. Like if they lose that Texans game this week, doesn't even matter. Like Cincinnati comes roaring back. It felt like, oh man, here we go. The 49ers are going to end up losing another heartbreaking game at the end, but they found a way to do it. And I just think that kind of resolve, if it happens once or twice, it's kind of a coincidence, but the fact that it happens over and over again, like I go to sleep at night feeling content with the product I watched, knowing that they didn't just give up and throw it in and be like, hey, we had a good season. Off season's coming up. Like, that sounds like, oh, every team should do that. It doesn't happen that way. There's plenty of teams that would have given up multiple times when the 49ers faced the challenges they did today. And they not only surmounted them and matched them, they came out and they won. And they beat the Rams for the 6th time in a row. Like, that is the Rams literally have been one of the best teams in the league for the last 4 or 5 years, and they just cannot beat the 49ers when the 49ers have a competent roster. They had that weird, start the first couple of years when they had a leg up. But since 2019, when you could say the rosters have been pretty much the same, they haven't beat the 49ers a single time. And that's pretty incredible to me. So I just want to say I'm proud of the way that they fought. And I think that team is very close-knit, and I think that there is a very strong connection with those players in the locker room. Jason and I have heard that from players direct. Like, they will tell you that this isn't just like, hey, I'm coming to work to collect. Like, these guys really do ride for one another.
They love each other.
And they really do. And that's why it feels so good no matter what happens. They went out on their terms this week, and they left it all in the field. And they ended up winning. It's not like we're sitting here like, oh, they came up just short. Like, they ended up winning, but they did it in a way that was just so admirable. So, it was fun. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple times this game I never gave up or thought it was over. But that last drive, I had my doubts. I'm like, man, you're asking a lot to go 92 yards with no timeouts. And, the Rams defense is so good on the back end. And they find ways to make plays, man. So, yeah, I'm very, very happy for the way the season went. Obviously, it would be cool to have a 1 seed and have the bye and all that stuff. But looking back on it now, knowing how many lows we had after losses and how many times we sat there and we're like, man, maybe this isn't a playoff team. Maybe they should, all the debates, everything we've had, at the end of the day, like, I think it was a success. And the lows make the highs that much better is basically the point I'm making.
Yeah, man. And I think that's a great place to end this right now. Rich is having his dinner. That's cool. I would have loved to have had him back. But we've legitimately kept this up. 800 people. Now we are at 370. Anybody that's in here, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Jordan, let them know where they can follow you and your content on Niners Nation, because it's incredible and you deserve more eyes on it.
Thank you. Yeah, you can just find me at Niners Nation. I'll be writing something tonight. I can give you a hint and spoil it. It will be very positive and very celebratory of the game we saw today. I do some stuff on Twitter as well. I'll, throw up stats and film whatever I'm working on during the week. Yeah, the main stuff you can find at Niners Nation. There is a great group of writers at Niners Nation, obviously not just myself. So if you aren't already following them, that's definitely a good place to check in for Niners news. You'll get stuff not only throughout the week during the regular season, but also in the off season. So yeah, you can find me there.
Awesome, man. And season's not over. It's not over. I'm so happy right now, man. I really am. Just because I get to continue to cover this team. Defied all odds, made it. Who knows what's going to happen next week, but I'm not focused on next week. We can get to that in the middle of the week. I know this team right now is celebrating. I'm looking at their IG stories. Oh, they're celebrating right now. These guys aren't thinking about next week just yet. So my advice to 49er fans, soak in the win. Enjoy. This was incredible. And we'll have a discussion about this being the most fun 49ers win in a long time.
Easily since the Seattle. No, I mean, if we're not counting playoff games, easily since that Seattle game of Week 17.
Yeah, and you know what? There's an argument to be made that this game is ahead of that Seattle game when you talk about what's at stake. Look. Broken thumb, messed up thumb, 17-0. The 49ers had that game largely in hand.
Yeah, but I feel like that Week 17 game, because they hadn't won there in like 8 years or something.
Oh, that's true.
That. Like, I think it's a little different just because the Niners have had so much ownage on the Rams. Like, getting that win over, like, if that win, you're right, if that had happened against like in Arizona, I don't think it would have been as meaningful. And I'm biased. I'm tilted. I was in Seattle for that game in the stands, and that was just I think the fact that it was, maybe not as back and forth like Jason's saying. Like, for the first 50 minutes, the Niners dominated that game. I get it, but like, what it signified was it really, and that was the first time they'd made the playoffs since the Harbaugh years, and it kind of, that's tough for me, man. Like, you could argue both, but I just feel like the Niners own the Rams so much in recent years that it's kind of like, I don't want to say it makes it any less special, but like even Joe Staley was like, man, like, I've been waiting for this for almost 10 seasons. Like, I come here every year, I have to listen to these fans chirping at me on the way out. The Rams don't have fans like that, and they certainly aren't chirping because they have nothing to really talk about every time the Niners come to town. So I think it's a little different, but yeah, I get it.
Well, let me be a prisoner of the moment. Let me get my hot take off, bro. That's it. And we'll have a discussion later on about this. But I think this is a good place to end it. And there's plenty to talk about this week. 49er fans, enjoy the win. Be safe out there and celebrate. No matter how you feel about the quarterback situation or whatever, it's a playoff team. You're a fan of a playoff team. And I don't want to hear about 7th playoff spot, any like that. But for Jason, for Jordan, for Andrew, for Rich, thank everybody who has been in here. Thank you guys for riding with us all year. It does not stop. We are going to continue this entire week. There's a ton of content coming to you guys. And as always, let's go Niners. Oh my goodness, man. What a game. Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte.